Look, last night, must-win game. All games, must-win games for an 11-20 team. But this was their most important series victory of the year. I know what you're thinking. Paul, that seems a little hyperbolistic. I'm actually being serious here. You just took 2 or 3 at home, a place you can't hit, against the team with the most record in the American League. Even better, over that stretch, yeah, there was that dud sandwich in the middle, but you got some really good bread in this series on either side with lots of runs scored, which you can't do apparently at Minute Maid Park. But you had 10 runs on Tuesday. You had 8 runs last night. I'm feeling pretty excited, Sean Mapes. You should be too. They're turning things around, baby.
This is the get off the mat kind of series that this Astros team needed. The kind of series that we'd been waiting for, especially during the easier parts of their schedule. But they decided, let's do it during the hard part of the schedule. let's have the best team in the AL. Although I don't know if they're still the best team in the AL, but let's have, when they're coming in, the best team in the AL. And that's when we'll figure everything out.
Hey, it just matters when you beat them. When you beat them, were they the best team in the American League? That's all that matters. So you put
not our fault. They're worse now.
Exactly. And look, I mean, technically, there's still a team with the best record in the American League. At 20-11, they're tied with the Baltimore Orioles. The Yankees are 20-13. This is a big series, a big confidence boost. And they should be happy about it. And you should be happy about it. It's Cinco de Mayo weekend. And guess who's coming to town? It's the Seattle Mariners in first place. You're 6 games behind them, but a little sweeperooski over the weekend. Then you'll be 3 games back. And you'd still be 6 games under 500, which is low-key embarrassing, but baby steps. And you got some giant steps last night from Jon Singleton. I mean, very tiny shoes to fill with Jose Abreu, but you heard the 2-run homer that he hit in the 6th there to give the Astros the lead. You had a hustle play on a passed ball to give the Astros their first run. Right after he hit that 2-run homer, he made 3 pretty good defensive plays playing first, and he drove home another run with the sac fly in the 7th inning. It's a 3-game sample size we're talking about with Jon Singleton, but over that 3-game sample size, he's looked pretty good with no Jose Abreu standing in his way. And now the prince who was promised, the man who signed a contract with the Houston Astros all those years ago before even playing with them and then smoking a lot of weed, he has come back, and over his last 3 games, he is 4 for 9. He's got 2 homers. He's got 6 runs batted in. And he is so much better than Jose Abreu. You got to be feeling good. I don't know if it's going to last. I want it to last. I'm skeptical it'll last. But I'm very happy, once again, for Jon Singleton because remember last year? He had the 2 home runs? That was it. It was just 1 game. This time, it's 2 games? With the question mark is the middle game? I mean, he did have a hit in this middle game. So.
Well, he spread him out this time.
Right.
It's 2 home runs to win 2 games instead of 2 home runs to win 1 game because this team needs all the wins they can get. I think he bought himself, I don't know, 2 weeks of just being the first baseman of the Houston Astros, regardless of production.
I think you're right, Sean.
I was thinking, I'm ready to ride with him because I know, what'd you say, 5 for 9? Probably not going to be 5
for 9.
4 for 9. Still over 400.
4 hits. That's as many as Jose Abreu had. Okay? That's as many as Jose Abreu had. I feel like maybe not 2 weeks, Sean, because I am curious about the alternative options. Victor Caratini's playing well. Can you play him at first base a little bit more to give him some more at-bats? I am curious about Mauricio Dubon there. He's also hitting well. I'm curious about Joey Loperfido there, though it seems like the Joey the Rope's going to stay in the outfield. But I really like what we've gotten out of Singleton. I hope that it lasts. It's definitely something to be happy about because, right, it was the 2 home run game, and it was the walk that he drew before Jose Altuve hit that critical Game 5 home run against the Texas Rangers. And the Astros did have a 3-2 series lead in the ALCS at one point. Oh, I gotta
You know,
remember that.
if Singleton can just hit the occasional timely home run and draw some walks, that is already so much better than what the Astros was trotting out there early this season at first base. So the standard is low. I will say that.
Very low.
It's very low. That's probably why 2 good games, 3 good games. I'll give them the 3rd good game. 3 good games, it's like, boom, I'm in. Like, stop the count. I've seen enough. For at least for now, I'm okay rolling with Singleton. Like you said, with some off days probably, and just to work in Caratini, because you kind of want them to be taking reps there, especially Dubon, who basically has never played there before. Loperfido, who I don't think has played there very much in the minors. So, just to see what they got there, maybe more defensively. But as far as what the first base spot is giving you in the lineup, which was nothing. Before Jose Abreu got optioned, there's no way you can be anything other than ecstatic from what you got from Singleton.
100%. Now, a lot of other good last night. I thought Spencer Arrighetti had a very nice performance. I think he's been getting better. He had 6 strikeouts. He had 3 1-2-3 innings. There was a stretch where he struck out 4 Guardians in a row. And yeah, you got some other contributions in the lineup. You saw Jeremy Pena doing what Jeremy Pena's been doing of late. We'll talk about him in just a second. You saw Jose Altuve get 3 hits. And you saw a lot of atrocious defense from the Guardians, who made that nickname ironic last night. That was some of the worst defense I think I've ever seen. You had the 2 triples that were ruled triples. They weren't called errors, where the Guardians center fielders just butchered 2 plays that led to easy stand-up triples for Pena and for Jake Myers. There was a passed ball for a run. There was the foul ball that the 2 Naylor brothers couldn't decide on, which helped the Astros out. Several near disasters in the outfield, a hit by pitch with the bases loaded. So the Astros got a little bit of luck last night, which certainly helped. They need all the help that they can get right now. And there's another guy that needs a lot of help. Joe and I yesterday discussed who the next scapegoat will be for the Houston Astros now that Jose Abreu is gone. And I think that right now, Alex Bregman is firmly in the crosshairs. Last night was about as frustrating as it gets to watch this once great third baseman, who gets off to slow starts routinely, do something that has become now a expectation for Lance Zierlein, like Laramie Tunsil false starts and Corey Brewer 3-point attempts that clank off the front iron and go all the way to half court. Alex Bregman pops the ball up a lot. And to pop it up, not just once, but twice with runners in scoring position. Even worse, twice with runners on third. Even worse, twice with runners on third with 1 out. You got to wonder when things are going to start to click for the guy. He's batting .200. For context's sake, only Jose Abreu has a lower OPS than Alex Bregman. Yordan Alvarez is doing his best to catch up, but he's still got a ways to go. This is even worse. Bregman's batting average this year is .200. Martin Maldonado's batting average last season was .191. Alex Bregman's slugging percentage this year is .275. Martin Maldonado's slugging percentage last year, .348. Alex Bregman's OPS this year is .548. Martin Maldonado's OPS last year, .606. When you're in the same conversation as Martin Maldonado, and you don't have some innate way of talking to pitchers to make them all do better, what are you doing for me? I'm not saying bench him. I don't know who you'd put at third base, given the Astros' depth issues at this moment in time. But I think we should all be in agreement on this. It's time for Joe Espada or Dana Brown or whoever makes the decisions about how the Astros put their lineup together. It's time to move Alex Bregman out of the 2-hole. He can't be there right now. Can he return there? Sure. I'm not giving up on Bregman on the year. I'm a big Bregman fan. I feel like the people that are have got the knives out for him because he's in the middle of the contract year or being a little bit disrespectful, right? I mean, you got to be thankful for some of the things that he's done. I don't want this to come off as I'm angry with Alex Bregman, but I am disappointed. And if you're disappointed, there's got to be some repercussions, right? Is it really such a slight to move a guy who's hitting 200 out of the 2-hole? And you tried it with Yordan Alvarez. It didn't work with him in the 2-hole. Okay, well, why not do something that actually has worked in the recent past? Remember when Jeremy Pena was in the 2-hole back in 2022? And Dusty Baker was the one pushing for that? For all the people that hate him, that was a Dusty idea. And then he goes on a tear to finish the year. He's on a tear right now. This is an easy solution, in my opinion. And we'll see what happens with the lineup tonight. But look, this weekend is not going to be easy for the Astros. You can laugh at the Mariners' offense. It has been sporadic. But their starting pitching is really, really good. Every single one of their starters has at least 3 quality starts. It is insane, the numbers that they are putting together. I took a look, and here are some of them. They have the best walks, hits per innings pitched in the majors. They have the second best ERA. They have a 1.58 ERA since April 10th. They've allowed 40 runs since April 10th, which is 23 fewer than any other team. And every single starter, including the 3 you will see this weekend, have 3 quality starts plus. These are good pitchers. We've known that about Seattle. Their lineup, not so good. They can pitch, though. Are you going to leave Alex Bregman in the 2-hole for this weekend? If you do, you got to give me a legitimate reason for doing it. You have to. And that's the challenge on today's show with Joe out taking care of the Joe Jr. You've got to tell me a legitimate reason that Alex Bregman should stay in the 2 spot. I can't think of one. I really can't, other than respect. Not wanting to embarrass him, Sean. It's one of those things where I understand why it's a part of baseball. There's a lot of ego involved, but I mean, you're not taking away his badge and his gun. You're just moving him to a different unit. You're not even putting him on the desk.
Yeah, we're just saying like 5th.
Right.
6th, maybe.
Yeah.
Like it's also something where he didn't start the year batting second. This was a move that was made to get Yordan hitting 3rd again. And so this was obviously, this was not the plan. I mean, honestly, nothing has really been the plan.
No, really.
But this especially wasn't the plan to have him bat second. It was something that they went to when they're still 10 games under 500. And
because it wasn't working the way that they wanted it to with Yordan.
And to speak to the respect, some of the respect was putting Bregman in the 2-hole when he wasn't, by the numbers at that point, he still wasn't deserving to be in the 2-hole. He didn't get moved up in the lineup because of how well he was hitting. It was out of, we know what kind of hitter Alex Bregman has been. Right. But that is not the kind of hitter that he is right now. And going back to what you said, last night's win and every game was a must-win game. If we're going to keep going with these are all must-win games, which they kind of are, you can't be putting the guy who's hitting 200 batting second. Like, you just can't. You can't be doing that. Now, they did score, 21 runs over the last 3 games with him there. It wasn't because of him, though. It wasn't because that you're not telling me that they score less if, like you said, Pena's batting second, who I think would be the logical option to put up there. He's another guy who has hit there before. But there's just no reason that Bregman should be that high in the lineup. I don't even think it's disrespectful to put him 5th.
It's not. Honestly, I bet Bregman would tell you right now, and I think the last time that he was asked about the contract year, he got a little snippy and he dropped a couple of cusses. And that's about as much emotional range as he's going to show with the microphone in his face. I think even he'd tell you, I'd be open to it. But this goes back to the new manager and Joe Espada. Is he comfortable making that decision? I mean, he wasn't comfortable. He even told us giving multiple innings to Josh Hader. So these are things that Espada is going to have to do. I think this is a big weekend against the Seattle Mariners. Every single series is a big series, must-win series, until they are back above 500, in my opinion. You don't need to sweep them, but you do need to take 2 or 3. You do need to take baby steps back towards 500 the rest of the way. You are pretty far out of the AL West. I know that it's just 6 games. It's still pretty far, guys. It's still pretty far. It's not like there's no team with a winning record. The Mariners and Rangers have a winning record this time around. The A's are ahead of you. Hey, you finally are technically ahead of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, so you got that going for you, but you got to continue on this path, and I think one of the ways to continue on this path is to move Alex Bregman in the order.
And it is gone! Oh, Jeremy Pena sends one to the seats, and the Astros lead 1-0 in the 18th inning.
May 3rd, 2024. The Astros are eating themselves. It's barely May, and they're basically 10 games under 500. Their starters keep pooping their pants. We can't relate. They optioned Jose Abreu to Florida, a Nazi state in our United States of America. Noted cheater Alex Bregman can't hit without a little trash can banging in the background. Meanwhile, yeah, we're in first place. And this is our World Series. Did you see what we just did? No, I'm not talking about the protest that blocked the highway in support of Palestine. We just took 2 of 3 from the Braves. Best whip in the majors, second best ERA. Julio Rodriguez is hitting .349 over his last 15 games. We're Houston's reckoning. We're vengeance. And when we take down your dirty, cheating Houston Astros this weekend, we're gonna raise a banner. Yeah, that's right. Banner number 6. Because we have 5 banners, and 2 of them actually are for wild card berths, and then 3 of them are for division titles. We should raise a banner for the most wins in baseball history in a season and stuff. Hey, that's not besides the point. We're coming for you, Houston. You best be ready.
They're cocky. I have seen the timeline, and while they are still complaining, Mariners fans, about the lack of offense, the lack of money invested, the pitching is really, really good. This is going to be a very tough series for the Astros this weekend. It is really funny that they have raised banners for wildcard berths. They do, I think, have a raised banner for the most wins ever in 2001. But, I mean, they are legitimately the least successful franchise of all time. I don't know what I saw in them. I don't. You know? That relationship that I was in with them, I mean, they were hot at the time, but was that Stockholm Syndrome? You know? I was up in Seattle. Wasn't allowed to go outside. Lived in the Chop. Or the Chaz, whatever they rebranded it as, you know? Can't go out there unless you're in support of whatever they're in support of. And I felt like, okay, well, if I don't want to get executed in the streets by some of the pro-Palestine people, you know what I got to do? I got to embrace the Mariners. You know? I did what I did.
It was either embrace the Mariners or embrace the Seahawks with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
When Russell Wilson was starting to when we all started to be like, actually, all the Legion of Boom guys are kind of right about Russell Wilson.
Yeah. The best part about being up there was I actually was on board with the Seahawks, but Seahawks fans are so exclusive that they didn't think I could possibly comprehend how football works. And because they were that way, and then I decided to flex like, well, I'm a Patriots fan. Do you guys know what winning is? Because you guys, throw passes on the 1-yard line with Marshawn Lynch. They didn't like that. So that lost me a lot of fans. But Mariners fans do like me for whatever reason. Whatever. Back to Alex Bregman. Couple of responses, because we're asking this question. What is a legitimate reason to keep Alex Bregman batting second going forward? I can't think of one. Couple of comments on the text line. 713-780-3776. I understand that players need to make money and have business prospects for life after baseball, but I'm tired of Bregman's salsa company. Oh, the Bregarita? For $300 in center field? Come on. His horses. He has horses. I didn't know that. Interesting. Kentucky Derby weekend. fading those horses based off of his average right now.
Slow starters, too.
Slow starters, I bet. Yeah. I don't know if they're strong finishers. We'll see. And whatever stuff he's shilling on the gram. There's also this. This is sort of like with Baker Mayfield when Baker Mayfield started struggling. There's a new HEB commercial. I'm not going to lie. It makes me chuckle, even though I have no idea what's being said because the entire thing is en español. It's, I think, a play on telenovelas, which are Spanish-speaking soap operas. They're completely ridiculous. I will say, like, you can watch those and you'll probably have a pretty good time given the talented actresses on that show. But HEB did their own commercial, and Alex Bregman is heavily featured in it. Here is that commercial. I'm sorry for some people who are probably tired of it already.
Tienen fama, éxito, belleza, pero lo cambiarían todo por tener el derecho de comer.
Jeremías, alguien se ha acabado mi Creamy Creations. Esto es imperdonable.
Pero qué catástrofe, Alejandro David. Tenemos que averiguar quién fue.
It's Jeremy Pena.
¡Ay, Dios mío!
Lance McCullers.
¡Mis tortillas de ACB! Fue el gemelo malvado de órbita. ¡Órbita!
Okay, so we'll pause for a moment here. So, the first person you heard speak was Alex Bregman. The second, Jeremy Pena. That effort in that commercial alone is reflective of his current play compared to Alex Bregman. Pena stole the scene in that commercial. Lance McCullers up next. Also, very good job. I know a lot of people are like, we don't want to see Lance McCullers anymore, and I totally understand that.
If we're sick of Alex Bregman in commercials.
Who are you more sick of in that commercial? Lance McCullers or Alex Bregman?
Yeah.
Do you want to
Drink Maven coffee, by the way. Coffee and cocktails.
Is that Lance's coffee?
I think they just opened up a brick and mortar.
Oh, no. Well, hey, let's replay the Alex Bregman portion of this. Here's Alex Bregman in this HEB commercial.
Jeremías, alguien se ha acabado mi Creamy Creations. Esto es imperdonable.
Pero qué catástrofe, Alejandro David.
See, that Pena's so much better. Pena's so much better.
I will say it's a little bit of a road game for Alex Bregman. In speaking in his second language.
Or would it be a home game given that Minute Maid Park is where the Astros can't hit?
Yeah. That is true. But yes, he is very much, and I was once this person, very much you get called on in high school Spanish class type of Spanish, where by the book it sounds right, but there's you can tell that he's not able to remember what to say and then also say them well. Whereas Pena's like, no, I can do both. Like I can remember my lines and also act.
I mean, if I'm Alex Bregman, I probably want these to stop airing. Much like as Junior Bronco says, gonna have to shelve this like the HEB Osweiler commercials. Yeah, those were rough. He's got the cowboy hat on and a lasso.
Maybe they're going for it's so bad it's good with Bregman, but I don't know. I'm trying to help him out. All right?
I am
He's
too.
hitting 200.
He's not doing well. We would like him to go further back in the lineup. That's all we're asking for. I think it's going to jumpstart him. He's always a slow starter, but okay, Jose Abreu's gone. He's doing very poorly. Yordan Alvarez, by the way, not much better. It has been bad of late. He was just as bad last night in those same situations. Third and the fifth, you got a runner at third with one out, and you get nothing out of both Bregman and Yordan? Come on, guys. Come on. They won 8-2. The Guardians gave them a lot last night. You take advantage of what you get. You need a little bit of luck. They've had bad luck this year, but come on, guys. These two have got to wake up, and if Bregman's not waking up in that two-hole, it's time to move him somewhere else.